Welcome back everyone. In this video I'm going to show you how to set up Neovim from scratch without relying on any opinionated structure distribution such as LazyVim or NVChad. So what we're going to use instead is this thing called MiniMax, which is the collection of Lua pre-configured files, and this is maintained by the creator of mini.nvim plugin. So let's just see what it is and you'll understand better if I do it. So the very first thing you have to do is you have to go to this Google and you have to search this thing, MiniMax Neovim GitHub. You have to go to this GitHub page and clone this repo. So I'm going to clone this repo first, git clone, and then this. As soon as this is cloned, go to this repo because the cloned repo name will be MiniMax, and then write this command over here, nvim-l setup.lua. Enter. Done. So from here the config file will be copied to your local config directory, which is /config/nvim. Okay, let's go to this our config folder, which is .config, and then let's go to the nvim folder, which is created already from this script setup.lua. Enter and open the nvim. It will ask some permission to install a couple of plugins, which is very necessary. You can see this is NVIM Treesitter is there, LSP config is there, mini.nvim is there, of course, obviously, and then we have some this thing, friendly snippets. Let's give it the permission and let it install all the plugins. Right, so it is done. Now our nvim, basically my Neovim config is set. So how to check it is just press space, which is the leader key, E, and then D. It will open the file tree which comes by default from the configuration here, because this is the part of mini.nvim plugin. Now if I see the file structure, the very first thing, the opening point of our Neovim configuration is init.lua, and if I go to this file, this explains everything. So you can see it's just the documentation. The guy has already set up the configuration for you in such a way so that you can change it, you can be independent, and you can do whatever you want according to your wish. But the very first thing you can see over here is we have the file structure, which is exactly what is given in the documentation of Neovim 0.12. This is following the same structure for arranging the files. Okay, now if I again press leader ED, I can see we have snippets, we have plugins. If I go to the plugin section, the very first thing we have is the options.lua. As the name suggests, it is keeping all the necessary options you need. You can add, remove, delete, you can do whatever you want. Okay, I would suggest go through each of the options. It has all the descriptions as well in next to each option, so you can have a read about it, and that's it. Then the next thing we have is keymaps.lua. Again, same thing, it has all the documentation which is needed for you to understand. Just go through it, have a read of all these files, all these lines, what they do. Okay, and you can see all the keymaps is already set. You can change it or manipulate it or transform it the way you want. Okay, then the third thing is we have mini configuration, which is mini.lua file. It is having all the options regarding the mini plugin. As far as I know, it's like the 40 plugins is enclosed in mini.nvim plugin. Okay, so it's like 40 independent plugin that you can use, but you don't have to use all of them. Okay, so it is describing whatever plugin it is using for the time being, and what else can you use, what else do you not want to use. Everything is here. So I think this is the longest file, which is 827 line. It is having all the details of how the mini plugin, which is getting used over here in this repo, I mean in this configuration, how does it work. Like we have the mini.starter, it is the same plugin which is used over here. This thing, the screen which you see over here, it's all because of mini starter. And then you have this file picker as well. Okay, so this is also the part of mini.nvim. Okay, and trust me, these plugins are very native. These are not dependent on anything else like many plugins do. So it will work like a charm. It is so fast and it is so smooth to use. Next thing is the color scheme. What you see over here is also coming with the mini.nvim plugin. So one thing you can do is you can just enable this option over here and you can save it. And if I source using so command, you can see every time I open my Neovim, the color will keep changing. So again, next color, every time I load my Neovim, the color will keep changing, random. Okay, so this is how the things are working over here. Okay, now if I go to this menu, I basically don't want it, so I'm gonna disable it. Okay, so the next thing what you can do is just give it a read, you like it. Let's go to the next file, which is plugins.lua. Now the thing which is needed the most, like which is very important, is this file, because in this files there are the maximum options which is needed for you to set it up as, you know, as fast as possible. So if we come down, the very first thing we have is the Treesitter. It is responsible for, you know, syntax highlighting and tags and stuff like that. So for example, you're working with JavaScript. So what you can do over here is you can add this support, that I want this support for JavaScript language. So I can just add it over here. Now my JavaScript file will be having the you know, the syntax highlighting and the tags and stuff will work better over there if I use any keybinds. Okay, or if I use some command, no matter what, but syntax highlighting and Treesitter support will be there for JavaScript. Okay, I don't use JavaScript because I changed my domain to low level. I use mostly C for my work, so I would say C. Okay, let's get down over here, and it comes the part of language server here. For language server, we have something called nvim lsp config. It's already installed, like the guy has already set it up for us. What we have to do is we have to mention over here by uncommenting these 2 lines, 3 lines basically, of what server we want. So for example, you can see how to set it up. For me, it is just clangd, so I will just set it up like this. For you, if it is web development or something, you should be having TypeScript server. You can just enable it, don't forget the comma, and that's it. Okay, next thing is code formatting. So for formatting, confirm.nvim is a quite popular Neovim plugin. If you know, you know. So I don't use anything. I basically I don't use formatter, but of course, to show you, what you have to do is you have to uncomment this, and whatever language you're using. For example, I am going to use C, so I'll give it a comma over here, C, and then this thing. Now for C, there's a thing called clang format, if I'm not wrong. You can Google it, you can chat GPT it for whatever language you want, and you can just keep it like this. For your convenience, you can also do, I guess, like this. Yeah, this is a way of doing it. Yeah, you can do something like this as well. And yeah, so this is how you set your code formatter, and there's a keybind for this. I'll show you. Okay, now there you have snippets. I'll show you how snippets work, don't worry about that. And then to install things like style or C-line format, you need something, right? You need a tool, because you can't install everything one by one. You can do if you want, but I don't like it. So I like to use something called Mason over here. So I'll uncomment it, I'll source this, and it is asking for permission, yes or no, because it's going to download Mason. I said yes. Now Mason is download, and if I just open Mason now, you can see there's an interactive platform so that I can download anything I want. It's like having LSPs, TAP, linter, formatter, everything. So the very first thing I'll download is something called C-line format. So press this slash button, just like you search in Neovim or Vim. Type C-line format, and there you go. Your cursor should be, your pointer should be on this thing, whatever you want to install, and press I. And C-line format started getting installed. What else I want? I don't want anything else for the time being. So this is how you set up your, Neovim. You're just ready to rock. You can just code now. You don't have to spend all of your day configuring the Neovim and waste so much time, because people waste a lot of time over here. So right now my Neovim is set. It's set in a way that it's supposed to so that I'm supposed to do, because it's the most native way. It's not following some abstraction. It is all following the documentation of Neovim 0.12. So it's like the way it should be. It's perfect. Now what you only have to do is you have to just code. Okay, you don't have to spend time searching YouTube videos, how to do this, how to set up this, how does this thing work in LazyVim, how to disable this in LazyVim. Fuck that shit. Okay, just do this and you're set. Okay, if you want another color schemes, you can add over here. You can just uncomment this thing, and then also this thing. If I source it, it will install a couple of color schemes, and this is how you can change the color scheme. I want the default one for the time being. Yeah, so this is how you do things. If you don't want it, just uncomment it. Okay, and also if I'll show you one more thing, what are the plugins I have? I have Conform, which is the formatter. I have, this is color scheme, this is the snippet, which is very important. I'll tell you how to do it, how to use it, and how it is very important. We have Grubbox, color scheme, Mason, which is for our installing tools, mini.nvim, only one plugin for which is a collection of around 40 plugins. Colors, then this is a theme, this is LSP config for LSP configuration, Treesitter for syntax highlighting, Treesitter objects. Okay, so we have only these plugins. These are more than enough to code. More than enough to code anything you want. Okay, it's like very basic but very powerful. Now let's see an example. How can we use these things in our daily life in coding? So I'm going to touch one file called test.c. nvim test.c. What is it? Plugins.lua 182. There's something wrong over there. Let's go EP, leader EP, and yeah, no problem. nvim test.c. Okay, now let's see how can we code. Hashtag include stdio I'm writing a very basic code, and I'll show you how does the snippets work. Or Okay, you can also use control S for saving things, because in the key maps file, or the option no, not in key maps file, it has been set because I had checked it once. Now let's see how does formatter work. So if I just give it a space over here, and if I save it, nothing is getting auto formatted. But if I press leader EK to go to the key maps file, you can go it from anywhere and just search for format. Okay, now if I just go to the next occurrence of it, next, you can see over here in the last, this 189, line number 189, that we have something called leader LF to format things. So what I can do is I would press left bracket, the square bracket, and B to go to the back previous tab. So you can navigate tab using this square brackets, left for left and right for right, and B. So if I go to the previous tab, I would say left square bracket and B. If I want to go to the right tab, next tab, right square bracket and B. Okay, this is how you navigate. It's B for buffer. Now if I want to format this, I have to press leader LF. Okay, timeout. Okay, let me try again, leader LF. There you go. So it's working. This is how you format code. Now next thing which you should be worried about is, which I told you you're not worried about, what is printf, or what is snippets. So whenever you write printf, you can see over here this is called snippets. If I control N and control Y, my snippets is selected. Now you have to write something over here, and then you can navigate like using control L to the next section. Let me take a good or better example. You have something called for, and you can see over here snippets, for loop. Control Y to select it. I would say int I is equal to 0. Control L to go to the next position. I smaller than 0. Okay, control L for the next position. I minus, control L for the next position. And over here I would say printf, nothing, control L, control L. That's it. You're set with your for loop, because the snippets are coming already inbuilt, so you don't have to rely on LSP as well, from my opinion, because you have snippets. You can do whatever you want. For example, if I select while, so while 1, printf. And this is for every language. Now what you have to do, you have to format it, leader LF. You're set. Okay, so this is so easy to use, and you should use such things instead of those things like LazyVim, which opens something and you are like, how do I change it? Okay, here everything is in your hand. You want to change something, change it. If you want not to use something, don't use it. Okay, so I think video is getting so longer, and now I should just, should I show it to you? Let's leave it. I mean, what's the point of showing it to you? So this code will run for sure, but I don't know what will it do. So this is how you set up Neovim from scratch using mini.nvim. Okay, let me know in the comment sections if you have any doubts, and make sure to like this video if you like it. Thank you very much for watching till here. If you're still watching, thank you very much. Okay.